Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Elite Clockman here. Episode 17 of SKIBIDI Multiverse was really something else. The action, the horror, the lore building, everything was off the charts. I know I'm kinda late to this analysis, since it's been almost 2 days ever since the episode came out, but don't worry, because I'll still go over everything that you might have missed. Especially with the ending of today's episode, we might start seeing some crazy stuff and no one knows what's awaiting us. But before we get into everything, if you enjoy the analysis, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel because only 79% of you guys are subscribed, and I'm sure that we can pull this number down to at least 69%. Anyways, here we go. This episode actually starts with a warning this time, and it says, "Warning, this episode has jump scare," literally telling us straight up that we are in some for horror. We already knew this because in my last episode analysis, I mentioned that there was a Morse code at the end of the episode which said, "More horror," and Dom Studios held on to their words and gave us a lot of horror. That was not all, because the first frame of this new episode also revealed that the episode was actually the POV of Camera Woman, which is something that we haven't even seen in the original series. Even though we've seen some crazy POVs like the Titan cameraman POV in episode 51 in the original series, this was a first. The episode literally starts with the camera woman looking at the elevator wall, and we see the reflection until the door opens up to pure chaos inside this building. We see a regular speakerman getting killed by a buzzsaw toilet. But weirdly, this buzzsaw toilet has a different head, and the original buzzsaw toilet head we know has a different body as a machine gun toilet on the right side. I thought this was kind of funny, but I don't know if it was intentional. Camera woman suddenly rushes to the knife she sees on the table and throws it to the buzzsaw toilet the second she gets her hands on it. After this, she jumps onto another toilet and squeezes his eyes, making him blind, and not even seconds later she punches the toilet right before kicking him from the goddamn window. That toilet probably did not have a fun time while falling down. Camera woman suddenly turns into her turret mode to shoot the toilets, and from what it looks like, she can change modes pretty quickly in this series, unlike the original series. One thing I'm going to criticize is, I would love to see a different type of POV from Camera Woman, because if we check episode 51 of SKIBIDI Toilet, Titan cameraman had a HUD, and I feel like everyone would agree that Camera Woman should have one as well because of her aiming ability and her camera lens changing color. It really would have been fun seeing it, but these don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, and Camera Woman literally rams onto a toilet to kill it, leading up to her jumping from the building like a Chad. While falling down, we see another cameraman falling down at the same time as well, and Camera Woman catches him right before she starts using her jetpack to land in a safe place. But she literally flies through a building just to look cool, I guess. You should never miss out on flex points. We saw this in the last SKIBIDI Toilet episode as well, while Titan TV Man was just using every ability he has to show off. After Camera Woman lands, we see a scene full of Alliance members fighting against toilets, and it looks like the area we saw in the leaks, but if you freeze the frame right when we land, we can see the weirdly shaped building has a text that says SKIBIDI Base 3. As you guys know, we already went to the 4th base in episode 13, and it wasn't a good scene because I had to kill 2 witnesses. And you guys probably already know what happened at the end of today's episode. After landing, we turn to our back and see another big helicopter toilet coming from the other side, while many explosions are happening, but this does not stop us, and Camera Woman starts jetpacking to this toilet to kill him off in the most disgusting way. She pushes the toilet's head to his own helicopter blades. Bruh, that is some devilish stuff right there. We also see that this toilet has glowing white eyes, and instead of blood when his head is pushed to the blades, some type of black fluid comes out. There is a possibility that this is a fluid like oil, and might be used to fuel the machine toilets. After this, we land back and can see the PP-shaped building more clearly. It also seems like even though there are couple agent bodies, the Alliance has won the battle. We suddenly look to our right, and this frame actually has something crazy because if you zoom into the back, you can see me. Lurking in the shadows, I already showed this in my leaks video a couple days ago, but if you are not subscribed, you might have missed it, so if you want to know some special details about the episodes, make sure to subscribe. Everyone gets scared for a second, but from the looks of it, the normal agents on the field know that this toilet might be sensitive to sounds, most likely, because he is blind. or from what they've gathered lately from all their research. Because of this, everyone moves slowly, and we suddenly zoom into the toilet's face, seeing his rotten teeth and his eyes, which have some type of mechanical thing on top of them. We don't really know why they were cut out, but this toilet's mouth is also closed off, and it looks like there is something restraining his head also. I don't know what type of torture this guy went through, but it must have been hella a lot. Right after Camera Woman suddenly pulls out her rifle in change modes, and we can actually see the rifle on top of us. But a normal cameraman jumps in front of us to stop us suddenly, while trying to not make any noise, and makes the shush sign with his hands telling us to not make a sound. This clearly shows that this toilet is sensitive to sound. After this, we turn to our right once again, and I'm seen watching once more. With the info we have from episode 13 and the ending of episode 17, we can surely say that me and the other analysis YouTubers have been watching over these SKIBIDI toilet bases to keep the info private for some reason. Dom Studios haven't told us the reason behind it, since we are supposed to analyze and should have any prior info on stuff like this, since it would be very unfair and probably would make all our theories right. So even though it's my own character, I got no idea what's going through Blood's mind. Only thing we know is that they didn't want the SKIBIDI Apocalypse folder going around, but failed because I couldn't let ESO Toilet kill TV Woman. Yes, brother. If you are watching this, it was all for you. He won't be able to join us today because of the SKIBIDI Toilet Roblox game he is cooking. But if we can get to 20,000 likes, I'll make sure to invite him to the next analysis. After this, while we are watching the agents trying to sneak through him, one of the speaker man hits a can, and god damn it, bruh. Did you really have to do that? Because the second this destroyer toilet hears it, he smashes everyone around the soda can. Suddenly everything turns into chaos, and the cameraman tries to use the stun gun on him, but sadly it doesn't do anything. And that's not all, because he actually has jetpacks attached to him. I don't know how he can carry those boulders around, but it's so cool looking if I'm honest. He can literally smash anything he wants if he were to just fly with them. We try to run away with one of the cameramen, but seconds after getting inside one of the buildings, the blind toilet somehow hears us and smashes the cameraman in front of us with ease. He somehow also knows we are there as well. And right when he was about to shoot us, he gets shot from the left. And it's no other than upgraded Titan Speakerman. This was one of the first times where Dom Studios actually changed a character. Because as you guys know, in the original series, Titan Speakerman hasn't been upgraded yet. And it'll most likely happen soon. We can see that his upgrades were mostly defensive, but I'm saying defensive because his arm cannons actually got some substantial upgrades which look cool. His exoskeleton is much more detailed and bigger now, and it probably helps him defensively while also giving him a boost in strength. He also seems much more aggressive after getting his upgrades, because this fight was literally one-sided. He was able to dodge almost all the attacks and use his new abilities as if they were there from the start. His new hand cannons can be used as small blades, while also he can actually throw them and pull back just like Titan Drillman's hands. They probably collaborated with the scientist Drillman to make this possible. It also seems like his fire rate is much higher, even though the power of the beams seem the same. And because of his larger exoskeleton, it's very hard to see his flamethrowers, but they are back, and I'm assuming that they also found a solution for fuel and it won't be running out from now on. To be honest, what Titan Speakerman did to this toilet was actual torture, because even though his eyes are pulled out, he still used his new blades to pierce his eyes and pull him back just to use his incredible speakers right next to his ears. When we know that this toilet is sensitive to sounds, the main weird thing that happened here was that he gave a thumbs up to Camera Woman, and I have no idea why, but he looked kinda goofy because he is a lot bulkier now, and for some reason looks kinda short because of it. Until here was mostly the action part of the episode, and from this point on is where I think this episode actually started, because Camera Woman flies towards the door after the thumbs up, and we actually see TV Woman there as well. Even though the Alliance members are trying to hit the door, it probably would be impossible to break unless Titan Speakerman broke it. I have no idea why he didn't, but thankfully we got TV Woman by our side and we hold her hand to teleport with her. I know Elite Cameraman is going to be jealous even though he already got his portion of TV Woman in episode 16. The second we go inside, the whole vibe changes. For some reason, the alarms are already going off. We slowly walk through the corridor and actually see a Morse code on the wall under the Do Not Enter sign. And before I tell you what the Morse code says, It's kind of funny that there is a no cameras sign next to it. This Morse code basically is just an Easter egg, and it says The Shining, which is a horror movie, and the next scene is a tribute to it. We see two twin toilets playing with Alliance toys and basically breaking them apart while looking crazy. And there is actual blood coming from the back while this is happening. This actually might be their ability to give hallucinations because the camera FOV changes and blood doesn't flow after we close the door. This is a very similar recreation of the scene from The Shining, but I can't show you the actual scene since this video might get copyrighted. There are also many drawings on the walls, but it's not really clear if they were put intentionally or not because I couldn't figure out any meaning. And seconds later, TV woman closes the door with a shocked face, and we continue along our way to the next room. And we see a weird Strider toilet which seems like is eating the other toilet's head. And on the right, we see the same toilet I killed in episode 13. And before we can think about anything else, a jump scare happens and we zoom into this toilet's head, which seems like she is the Momo toilet, and is actually crazy because a Strider toilet this fast and athletic has never been seen before. Right when she was about to kill us, TV woman steps in and starts using his orange beam to burn the Momo toilet, and camera woman uses her rifle to shoot her, but it doesn't seem good because the Momo toilet literally catches the bullet mid-air. Bro, what the frick? How? That really was a crazy move if I've ever seen, and she literally starts laughing like crazy, and her eyes slowly turn full white, but we don't have to worry because I suddenly throw my spear and come into the scene with ISO and Moby. I give the perfect sign to camera woman. But while these are happening, TV woman is already at the research place in front of us and is reading the SKIBIDI apocalypse files. We can also see 5 pictures on the right wall if we zoom in, and they are actually the photos of the toilets we've been seeing. The bottom left is the phantom toilet from episode 14. The bottom right looks like the twin toilets from earlier this episode. The right top is the toilet from episode 16, and the middle one is Momo toilet. But we have no idea what the top left toilet is. As you guys know, the last time someone read the SKIBIDI apocalypse files, we killed them and burned the files. But this time, right when ISO and Moby are about to do just that, I stopped them because we know that TV woman and camera woman are just too crucial, and it'll probably bite us in the ass if we kill them. And at the end of the episode, TV woman scans all the files and sends them. We have no idea where she sends them, but it sure is going to be crazy going forward. I wonder what's the analysis YouTubers plan. The only thing we know is that whatever is on those files, the Alliance wasn't supposed to see it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Elite Clockman out.